welcome to Coffee with the Kays. These are the Kays. We have coffee.
Welcome.
Yes, we do. Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
Coffee. Get your coffee.
There we go. Very good. Ooh, good coffee. All right. So we're going to talk about coffee. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is Kyle Kaye, Ron Kaye. I'm Josh Kaye. We're the Kays. And we're drinking coffee.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
We like coffee.
So thank you for joining us, spending some coffee time with us. I think this is going to be a fun episode. We try not to plan too much. We want to kind of,
gotta let it flow.
Keep it fresh.
That's
so
it.
yeah,
That's it.
see what happens.
The spontaneity here. But I think we've got some fun things to discuss, and then we've got a game we're going to play, and you guys can play along with us too. And I think it'll be really good. So, all right, you want to talk about the coffee first?
Sure.
So go ahead, Mom. And
well, I have
coffee that I'm not happy with.
I know.
I know, folks.
Josh.
That was it. Before we hit record, first of all, we've already had coffee. We're having coffee again. And before we hit record, that was it. She was just like, man, Josh, you're just like really off with your coffee. Like,
I love having coffee at Josh's. It's always
now she's got she's walking.
Who is
it back.
this woman? Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking Nguyen coffee, which is a Vietnamese coffee that I got from my friend Annie Nguyen. Shout out to Annie Nguyen. I don't know if she watches our podcast, but
her name is the same as the coffee company.
Is.
Yeah.
How about that?
I
Isn't that crazy?
know.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
So
and it's like the most popular Vietnamese name in the world.
It is.
It's amazing.
I love this though. It says grown in Vietnam, roasted in Brooklyn.
Can I talk about this coffee?
Please,
about what makes
about
this
it.
special? Okay, so here's the thing. There has been a.
Sorry.
Did you like the sound of that?
That's good. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the
that's good.
filter. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Okay.
Sounded
All right.
like trash cans
Coffee.
in his headphones.
Okay, well the thing is, so Vietnam apparently, they make a lot of coffee in Vietnam. Okay, and it's not necessarily consumed globally. It's obviously very important to the Vietnamese people and surrounding countries and things like that. But especially in America, it's fairly difficult to find Vietnamese coffee.
Yes.
And the person that started this Nguyen coffee, that was where she was coming from. I believe she's part Vietnamese, but she was running across the same issue where she was having a hard time getting reliably sourced Vietnamese coffee too. Because a lot of times you don't know exactly where it's coming from, and it could be a blend of all different things. It's not actually Vietnamese coffee. So she started this company and hooked up with a specific
Roaster.
a specific family in Vietnam that grows the beans. So she knows exactly where it's coming from. The other thing about it is this is Robusta beans, which there's kind of been this stigma in the coffee industry that Robusta beans are very cheap and like bad quality beans, and it's the Arabica beans that everything has to be 100% Arabica beans from this certain type of plant, and Robusta is like it had all these negative connotations. And what she says is that that's not true. It's the sourcing that matters more than anything else, and that Robusta has its own type of flavor, just like the Arabica does. So she's kind of setting out to turn the tables on that and kind of prove that Robusta beans should be treated as good quality beans that they can be.
Okay, let me stop you. Is it Robusto?
No, it's Robusta.
Yeah,
With
it's
an
100
A?
with an A. Robusta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sit corrected.
Yeah.
And this is
Doesn't happen very often, folks. I'm gonna kind of stew in this a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, she says our mission is to increase the visibility of Vietnamese coffee and promote social, cultural, and economic sustainability.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like they are sustaining these farms now in Vietnam because that's where they're specifically getting their beans.
Cool.
Now it is roasted in Brooklyn because that's
Yes.
where she's from.
Well, she says that they import. We work directly with producers in Vietnam to import green beans and roast in Brooklyn, New York. Together, we're changing the game.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing is, like I said, there's everything I've read says that like Robusta is like Folgers, like that's always kind of been the idea. And so it was like if you have a specialty coffee company, you don't serve Robusta coffee, you don't roast Robusta coffee because that's bad quality beans. But I think that it has a lot to do with not only where it's coming from, but how it's being roasted. Because if it gets roasted to the point where it's burnt, it's going to taste bad no matter what you have.
Well, the thing that's odd is when you read the tasting notes, it's a little bit tobacco, prunes, and graham cracker.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like a diarrhea special.
Okay. Well,
Thank you for that.
Yes, Okay. But you read that
offense,
and you
but,
think,
not necessarily. You don't really say that and then give me some of that tobacco.
Everybody's thinking that. Prunes, tobacco. That's
might be good for you.
Have a little tobacco leaf with some prunes. See what happens.
That's what I mean. When you read that,
My theory to work,
kind of. But it's intended to be made in this special filter that has this little part that screws in, and if you're listening, you can't see that I'm taking the filter apart.
Yes,
but
this is a podcast. We have to for the people listening.
But you
What's
put
all
it
that
in this.
clanking noise?
I know.
It is. It's metal. This is metal, and you can get different sizes.
It's a smaller.
It's very small.
It's a smaller cup than like a pour over or like a French roast. If you think about it, kind of like not a French roast, but a French press. If you think about it, kind of like a French press, it's almost like that, except you don't have to actually press anything. Right. It's like a mix of a press and a pour over would be the best way to describe it.
And then you have to kind of play around with how much to use. I guess it's like that with any coffee, because the first time I made it, it was really kind of strong, and it's the intention of it is to put that. What do they put in it?
The oil.
The sweetened condensed milk.
Sweetened condensed milk is the idea, is that you make it very sweet and you put the sweetened condensed milk in.
And that kind of cuts the bitterness of the coffee itself.
But I don't drink sweetened condensed milk. But I put some cream in, a heavy cream, and it's very good. It's very tasty.
It's very good.
It is very good. Yeah. And I like it because it's like you just leave it. Like you put it on your cup and then you pour it in there and go. You don't have to keep like with a pour over.
Yeah, that's okay. So that was the thing too. So I got a new pour over, and I got it from Starbucks because I had, a ton of Starbucks points.
1,000 points.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
tend to go to Starbucks. If you haven't signed up for the Starbucks Rewards program, you really should. It's worth it, because if you're going to Starbucks and you're buying the coffee and you get rewarded for it, you get cool stuff. And a lot of times, that's how I got the Christmas blend, because I don't think I paid for that. I think I got that with points. And then, I got this new pour-over machine. It works kind of the same way. And what's really funny is I sit there and pour it, and I let it bloom, right? And then it bubbles up. And it's a whole thing. And I try to keep a steady drip going, and you don't want it to go too far down, because then you pour it up, and then, it clogs the hole and stuff. And so, like, I'm doing all of this. And then this one is kind of like this, except it's not as fine. It's not as fine of a grind on the beans, but you put it in, you put the coffee in, and then you put this little bowl on the top. It's got these little holes in it. It's got like 4 or 5 holes, and you just pour all of the water, and the holes are positioned so that it fills up the coffee grinds all the way around, not just like right in the middle, So then it just technically sits, and you don't have to keep pouring. It just kind of does it for you, slowly dripping, and I think it tastes pretty good. I don't think I could really taste the difference between the way I normally do it and this kind of set it and forget it kind of way.
What are you drinking?
This is the Christmas blend from Starbucks. This was their Sumatran, their aged Sumatran.
It's not stale now that we're 2 months out of Christmas?
Yeah, no, it's it's not. It's actually, that's why I want to keep drinking it, because I'm like, it's going to start getting stale. But it's not stale yet. I had a good container that I put it in. I found out that UV lighting affects the freshness of the coffee beans. So if you put it in a clear container and it's constantly being exposed to light, it'll cause it to go stale faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's it. So I've been putting it in these containers that are completely.
And then you bury it in the backyard.
Right before you guys came out, I ran back there and dug it back up again. Yeah.
Old Danish tradition.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Vikings made a fine brew.
My coffee is Guatemalan.
As usual.
And it happens to be Irish. I'm not
Not
Irish,
Danish.
but I sure like Irish coffee.
There you go.
The interesting thing about Irish coffee is we went to McGuire's a while back around Christmas or New Year's. Mm-hmm. And we ordered Irish coffee, and it came back. And before we ordered it, they were talking about, well, man, make sure they don't add any sugar. And I was like, why would they put sugar in your coffee without asking you, you know? But it turns out that most of the recipes that you see online for Irish coffee contain like 2 teaspoons of brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, we had no
Now,
idea.
you know, I'm a diabetic. That's not good for me to begin with, you know, and so I wanted to avoid that. So we asked them to, you know, leave the sugar out, and it was still very, very good. And this is really good too.
I feel like with the sugar, you lose some of the flavor qualities of.
You do. It becomes more like a popsicle than a
right. And then that's the thing. It's like, see, so this is, you know, to me, it's the quality of the whiskey too that adds to the flavors. So
Absolutely.
you know, and that you miss that if you put the sugar in, because you're not even going to taste the alcohol. You just taste the sugar and you get a little bit of bitterness from the coffee.
But this is the way most of America drinks their coffee, like at Starbucks.
Yeah, with the sugar.
High fructose corn syrup and sugar and all that stuff. And, you know, we don't do that, but you don't know what you're missing, folks. I mean, you get away from that addiction to sweet, and there's a whole world of savory out there that is indescribably good and better than the sweets.
And you can actually enjoy tobacco, prunes, and graham cracker.
And talk about it without pinching your butt cheeks.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
No, sometimes they add chicory to that too.
Oh, no, they do.
Do they really?
Oh,
Sometimes, yeah.
Say it's not so.
What's that one? Columbia
Community
coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, with the chicory. That's the one. Josh hates that stuff.
Oh my God, absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, my Irish coffee is really good. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
It's a nice blend of a whiskey kick and some nice, real rich coffee.
Well, and you notice the presentation of
nice.
the mugs here. You know, that's Gordon Ramsay taught me that, because I'm like, I think it adds to the experience.
Yeah,
you know?
he knows what he's doing.
That's it.
You know?
You put it in a nice presentation like that. You look at it. You want to drink it. It looks really. You know. It's funny because I was thinking about this earlier today, even because I was buying groceries for the rest of the week, and I was thinking about us doing the podcast, and I was planning out what mugs I was going to use and stuff before we even came together.
So what mug do you have?
So that's right. I've got this was my birthday present, the Boston alumni mug right here.
There you go.
It's very nice. It's a very nice mug.
And it is a nice mug.
This is a bistro mug.
Yes,
by the way.
it is.
Ah.
Yes, that's it. Well, you know, because you bought it.
I bought it,
yeah. But that's the thing. So I was thinking about, like, you know, the presentation. I'm like planning it all out, and then I'm buying groceries for the week, and I'm like, you know, if Gordon Ramsay saw what I'm, you know, how I'm eating throughout the week, you know, because I mean, I eat healthy. I mean, we eat, you know, meat. We all kind of eat the same, you know. But I'll eat steak and, you know, make burgers out of ground meat and stuff like that. But absolutely no thought about presentation or you know, like literally, and like I eat meals just because I have to. Like, it's like, like for me, it's
I've always been that way.
Right?
Yes.
It's like
your hunger mechanism is broke, man.
It's
you
like,
lucky son of a gun.
I know. For me, it's like, well, my body says I have to do this, so let's just get this over with, you know? And it's like, I don't know why when it comes to like making coffee or doing cocktails and stuff, it's like it's totally different because now I'm all about the presentation and making.
I think you slow down and savor it.
Yeah,
you know, like when you're drinking coffee or whatever, you relax and get in the moment there. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and you like hosting. I think you like it.
That's true.
You like.
That's true.
You know.
Well, you know, I guess that's right because I'll still like we're having when we do like, you know, football games and stuff. I still put stuff out and I'll put it out in, you know, special, you know, plates and stuff.
Yes.
You know? So I guess there's a little bit of that.
Well, you know, speaking of how we eat, one of my favorite things to do for lunch these days is to get a pound of grass-fed beef. And you put butter in the frying pan, and you put this whole big thing of beef in there, and then you chop it up with the skillet, and you just cook it that way, and it breaks up into little, you know, granular kind of bites. Mm-hmm. And then I just take some block cheese and start shaving off pieces of cheese and throwing them on top, and then just keep on doing that until
like strips of cheese or like shredding.
Well, you know, with the cheese cutter, you get
a
slot of cheese about that big, and about that
like
long.
thin slices of the blocks.
Yeah, it melts better that way.
Okay.
But you let all that melt in there, and I use
spicy cheese.
Yeah,
Three pepper.
Three pepper, yeah, Boar's Head cheese. It's orange and it's fiery hot. It's really good.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I'll put some bacon and Gouda cheese on top of that. And so, mostly cheese. And if you're counting calories, the little thing's going, there's a lot of calories, but if you eat carnivore, it really doesn't matter that much. So then I heat all that down, and I take a plate and I put it on a plate, and then I'll take 6 eggs and sunny side up them, and then put them on top of that.
Oh my gosh!
And then I eat that, and that's it for the whole day. That fills me for the whole day. But
is that the breakfast you've been talking about?
No, it's a lunch.
It's a lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because that sounds amazing.
It is amazing. And it fills you up. And when those yolks break, and they get on that melted cheese gooey, and all that hamburger, oh my God, is that good.
My mouth's watering.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. What are we having for the Super Bowl?
Oh my gosh. I know.
Yes, this is Super Bowl Sunday, by the way, and so we'll all know who the winner is after, while you're watching this, you'll be knowing already.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
And
so we're both going with Philly.
Yes.
Dad's
fly, birds, fly.
That's it. I think.
Well, and here's the thing. I was the pigskin pick'em winner this year.
Okay, so let's explain.
I got number 1. I was the champion out of the whole league that I was in, which was all over the country.
For the people who don't know what this is, okay, Pigskin Pick'em in the ESPN Fantasy app allows you to pick who's going to win against the spread for all of the football games for every week. And what did you say? 97.
It was 98.6%.
98 percentile. Yeah,
Right,
yeah. So that was he cleaned up in that area. So,
and on my fantasy team, I won that one also. I won the RKMI league.
Yeah,
yes,
you losers.
I'm really sore about that one.
Yeah. I got kicked
Maybe
out.
Maybe next year. We got to make it bigger next year. Get some more.
Yes,
we do. We get more. It definitely would be more fun when we get some more people in. Not that
Connor, Ryan. So sorry, man, but thanks for playing.
That was fun.
It was fun. It's the first time we did fantasy football.
Well, I was just excited that you guys got into it because
it was first year. Never have done this before. It was totally blind.
Yeah,
we're in the draft, and I'm like, oh, this guy sounds good.
Right.
I know.
But it was funny because when I was watching, we were all 3 sitting together when we were drafting, and I was specifically making sure you guys, knew what was going on and stuff, but then it was funny because he was making some really good decisions. I felt when you took Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are 2 heavy hitting quarterbacks.
And look at now.
As it turns out, yeah.
And then
Isn't that funny?
That was funny.
Yeah, it was really funny because I remember when you picked up Patrick Mahomes, I was like, all right, well, yeah, that's typical. I mean, that's a good choice. That's number 1. And then I was waiting to pick my quarterbacks until later because I wanted to get a high wide receiver and running backs. And that was kind of my strategy, as I was going for the running backs and then wide receivers, and I was going to get a quarterback in the 7th or 8th. And I wanted Jalen Hurts, and then you took him, and I was like, man. But then that was funny, as I was and I was even telling you, I was like, do you think you need both of those guys? You really need both. There's Derek Carr.
A lot when there was a bye.
Oh, that was the thing, right?
I lose one quarterback and pop another one right in this place.
They're
both getting me 24 a game.
Exactly.
24 points.
Exactly. And then I picked up Travis Kelce. That was one of my kind of early picks. Was grabbing him because I thought one of the other guys was gonna pick him up early, and they didn't. So I think it was the 3rd round, he was still available. I took him. I was like, I'm going with the best one on the board. And I mean, when you look at his numbers for the season, like not just his NFL numbers, but look at his fantasy stats, and it's not even close. He was the best tight end in the entire league.
Yep. That's what they say.
Yeah. So but there were a few. What was your guy from the? With the long hair from the 49ers. Kittle. Kittle had a good season.
He's like, I'm done with Kittle. He's not doing me any good. And then all of a sudden he goes 20
points. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I mean, and I thought I was doing great because I picked
Because she was stealing our strategies.
Yes.
No, I
Because we were
wasn't.
talking
She
out loud.
plays it like a fiddle.
No, I lost. I had the least amount of points of
That's because
anybody in the league.
you waited too long to start cheating.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was picking, I picked Tom Brady and I picked Aaron Rodgers, and then they both really didn't have
they
good
did.
years.
They didn't do very good.
And then I switched over to Tua, and for like one game did good with Tua and Waddle until he decided to like keep getting concussions. No.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It was a terrible
was taking
time.
hits.
He was
Suicide.
really taking
Suicide.
hits, and,
Yeah,
and
it
it
wasn't
was
good.
awful. I feel so bad for him. I mean,
Yeah.
it was terrible. So I really did not do well
So,
with my picks. I was
Anyway,
not
getting
good.
back to my point
Okay.
is that I made a lot of points off of Mahomes,
yeah,
and I made a lot of points off of Hurts.
right.
And, when I looked at this final matchup being those two, I got to stick with Mahomes. There's something about the mental toughness and aggressiveness of Mahomes
Oh, big time.
that Jalen Hurts doesn't quite have. He
I
gets close.
disagree.
He gets close, but he ain't. This guy's got a hurt ankle.
Yeah.
And he's out there running.
Yeah, but look
You
at
know?
Jalen Hurts' career, okay? He has been constantly...
I like Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to...
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I mean, look at what happened in Alabama. He gets benched for Tua, right? And then he gets, he goes to another school and basically has to work his way from the bottom up to become the starter, and then, the Heisman, conversation and all that. And then, he goes to the NFL, he gets drafted, and he's back up on, and had to work his way all the way up to the point where he's
He's
at
a
now, and now
success
it's in the
story.
Super Bowl.
He
So,
is.
I mean, I think
Yes.
you can't get through that and not be mentally tough.
So you got a guy who's on top all the time.
Right.
And a guy who's working his way up.
That's
kind of the matchup here.
Yeah, there you go. I think that...
But they both run, and they both have a lot of options of who they're throwing to. It's
But
not like they have
the
only
Kansas
one
City
person.
defense, I used them also during
Yeah.
the season
Mm-hmm.
and cleaned up, man. They were getting like 10s.
Well, this is where it's going to be interesting because I had the Eagles defense.
Did you
And they
get
were
10?
And they,
yes.
they were cleaning up.
That was
I mean,
more
it's-
than one time I got 10 points.
We need
for
to
their
finish
defense.
this up. The game's going to be starting
I
soon.
know,
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
There's a lot of people that are saying that the knock against the Eagles defense is that they haven't been up against a top tier elite offense.
They're going to get that today.
Oh, yeah. So that, to me, I think it is going to be more about the defenses. I think we're going to see amazing things from both sides as long as everybody stays healthy and doesn't get hurt. But, that's the thing. It's going to be
I
defense.
have one concern
Okay.
that the refs play the game honest.
Yes,
Oh,
I know.
oh, get
if
ready for
those
this.
jackals
Oh, no.
screw it up again
man.
like they did
Look-
in the
In the playoffs.
playoffs.
I didn't even tell you. Did
They
you,
should fire every last one of them and hire the high school
yeah,
refs.
did you hear what Roger Goodell said about it?
No.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, no. Okay.
He said the refereeing in the NFL has never been better than it is now.
It's
Yes.
never been worse.
Yeah, he's saying it's the best that it's ever
Right.
been.
Oh, he's full of crap.
Yeah, because he's being questioned about it. People
Yeah.
are upset, and
He's like
no,
trying, and that's
it's
what
never
his
been the
concern
same.
is.
Yeah,
The heat's on me. I need to
Right.
deflect.
Well, I did
But
hear
let's
part of
be
that
honest.
interview.
There's no way. There was that. What was it? The Vikings game.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God! I wonder how
Oh,
many
jeez.
television sets got replaced after
you
that
could,
game.
You could go back in an episode where we talked about that because that was really bad, and there was that Buffalo game that was really
Yep.
messed up, and yeah, I mean, there's always been, so as Browns fans, there's always been the referees against the Browns as long as I can remember.
You get to learn to deal with it.
And that's kind of what happens.
But it's not as blatant as this.
no,
stuff.
this
Oh,
stuff
he
was
scored a
just
touchdown,
like-
but I don't think it was a touchdown because,
yeah,
you know,
I know.
that's
I know.
it.
Well, and I know that
No replay, you know,
Oh, yeah.
don't look at it.
I know those 49ers fans real upset about, Devontae scoring that touchdown or catching that ball.
Catching the ball, and then
they were like, oh,
they
he was
were
out
able
of
to go,
bounds. And
yeah.
stuff. But, at the same time, the thing about that to me was just so minor compared to the other
Others.
Yes,
blatant
blatant.
missed- Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was clear. I think maybe it was on the Kelsey's podcast. They talked about that
Mm-hmm.
that all of the teams are really taught that there's times where if the ref didn't call it and
you just go. That's the
go
game.
and you hurry up. They have signals
Try
to
and cover it up.
Right. And, they said everyone
and
does
Shanahan
it.
could have thrown the flag.
He could have thrown the
he
flag.
knows better than with that. He was standing right there, but he chose not to do it. That's it.
And they were saying when you
that's
see the other team hurrying up like that, you should throw the flag.
Throw the flag because there's
something
going on.
Yeah.
But football should not be like this. I mean, I know there's a lot of money being bet.
Well, this is the
on
problem.
These games, and I don't think that the betting audience is going to put up with this crap.
Right.
Yeah.
They need to rein these guys in and hold them accountable.
I did find out that, and I think it was Mary Kaye who reported it, that they do have a committee that reviews the refereeing for the games.
Yeah, they do.
So those are the guys you pay off.
So they're supposed to, whatever happens during the game happens.
There should be a several-tier review committee. A committee reviews it, then a committee reviews that.
That's the thing.
That's the only way you're going to get some kind of straight
and
talk
they have
here.
Supposedly
some
the way
of the
that
rules because of it.
Well, they have, but supposedly the way that that it works is that they review each crew on every game, and then they show them, this is what you guys got wrong, this is what you did right, and then they use that to kind of like grade them basically to determine who's going to be calling the games in the postseason.
And the grades they keep secret.
Oh, all of
buried
this.
in a jar under Funkin' Wagnall's porch.
All of that they keep secret.
Yeah,
100%.
so it don't happen.
Yeah.
That's my take. It's not happening. You ain't gonna tell me they sat those refs down and pointed out those glaring, obvious. Okay, there was no whistle. The ball's fumbled. The guy picks it up, runs for a touchdown. There's no whistle. Then you blow the whistle. Then you say
Call
that it was
then you say call it all the way.
I mean that you got to be kidding me, man.
Well, the free play that they gave the Chiefs in that one game where it was like he blew the whistle and you just didn't hear it and stuff, and they ran the whole play and then was like, okay, let's just erase that.
That whole
and that, it was.
You saw nothing.
There was
like
a
the
lot
penguin
of
from Madagascar.
You didn't see anything.
Yes.
There you go.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah, so that's enough to get the adrenaline.
I know coffee's kicking in.
A little
now.
bit of Irish coffee. I'm resting and I'm revving up and also mad.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I do have to say one thing before we switch gears here. I'm wearing Joe Thomas's jersey.
Yeah,
we're so proud of Joe Thomas for getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it makes Cleveland proud.
Yes, absolutely. And it was the story that he told about how he found out was awesome. I have to show you guys at some point, and you should look it up, our listening audience. But he talked about how the only person that knew was his wife. And they showed up at his house. It was like Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah.
Like that guy. They showed up at his house with the jacket and and all that, and the camera crew and everything. But they were planning on going out, and so she had to like stall to get them to not go near the doors because they were coming up. And so she said. They were getting ready to go out, and she was like, having him get his clothes and change his tie and like things like that. And then she was like, okay, we need to have a family meeting. And he said, like, anytime she says that, usually it's the kids are messing up and dad has to intervene. So they have a family meeting and they're going to discuss something important. And, and so he's kind of like gearing up for the family meeting, and then they come in and then, they hear somebody's at the door, and his son, went to the door and was like, there's people at the door, and then he saw who it was, and he told his dad, we made it, we're in,
Oh,
yeah,
so
and that
cute.
was it. And now he starts crying, and then he opened up the door and they said welcome home, and they had the Hall of Fame stuff, and it was such a
wonderful,
it was such a cool story. And he had, I didn't realize this, and I guess just I didn't remember that this happened, but he had the opportunity to go play with the Denver Broncos when Peyton Manning was with him.
Yeah, I heard that.
And he turned it down specifically to stay in Cleveland and be loyal to the fans and the team.
He talked about being part of the rebuilding of the Browns and trying to help the Browns to kind of come back to be a better team. And I mean, I don't think he said it that way.
Well, if there was a guy that deserves it, it's him.
Man, he said the thing that he's most proud of is that most consecutive snaps, without missing. It was like over
no small
35,000.
feat.
Oh my gosh. And I remember that last season he played, there was that one game that he got injured and he had to sit out a snap. And they said this is the first snap he's ever sat out. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. That's amazing.
He's tough.
Yeah. And that, so I've been hearing, lots of interviews and stuff with this now, because it's it's a really big deal. It's a big deal for the Cleveland Browns and for the fans, but, for him, it's huge. And, hearing him, that was the thing he said he was the most proud of, because, his message to every quarterback, and he's played for so many quarterbacks, every quarterback, he was like, I've got your back. Like, you can count on me. I'm going to stop this guy. That's I'm going to make the blocks for you. You can count on me. And oh my gosh, is there ever a football player that you could put that on? That was him, So
wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. It's definitely a proud Browns moment.
Yeah.
And I've got his jersey. So
I know, that's great.
Nice.
Very good. Awesome.
All right. Well, let's use that. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Ron Kaye's music instruction has been trusted by thousands in Pensacola to learn, play, and love music. Our strong passion for teaching music provides expert knowledge and guidance, which helps you succeed and have fun with your music lessons. Whether it's a bucket list dream or a desire to enhance your child's life, our music lessons are the answer. Call 850-453-9966 now. Realize your musical dreams. Visit musiclessonspensacola.com today.
All right, and we're back.
We're back.
We are back.
Yes.
And we're
No
the
more
three
coffee.
best friends that anybody can have.
Got them football frustrations out.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, for now.
Feel free to skip through the episode, Oh, man.
Can you still tar and feather the commissioner?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
No.
that's the kind of things frowned upon these days.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's it.
So this is supposed to be the music portion of our
Okay,
podcast.
I got to switch
If we-
gears.
Switch gears.
If we stick to our formula, which apparently is working, it's nice. This
Yes.
is our 4th season, which is
Yep.
kind of exciting.
Yeah, which is
That
pretty
is
crazy.
exciting.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize we'd been doing it this long.
Me
I
either.
mean, yeah.
And it's fun.
It is.
Because we sit and do this even when you're not with us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because that's how we started
can't
this
help
whole
ourselves.
thing.
No.
I know. Well, we drink coffee every day, multiple times,
Yeah,
and we talk a lot.
that's it.
Yeah.
Some of us talk more than others.
I'm sure of that, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. And we share about things, and we do have a passion for football and music and many other things.
Speaking of passion,
Yes.
you had talked to me earlier about defining our brand, how I would define it. And in several words, it would be like family, passion, knowledge, experience, education, and music for everybody.
Yes.
Because we teach
All grade,
people
all
who are
age
Yeah.
levels.
Definitely.
challenged in various ways, and so that's kind of it in a nutshell. But
Well, that was it.
That's
Josh
good.
asked me last night about, how would you define our brand, Ron Kaye's Music Instruction, and that's what I said. I said family. First thing I said was family. It's unusual to find a family that we all work together. We like each other.
we spend a lot of time
We spend
together.
a lot of time together. We have a lot in common, not just music, but we like a lot of the same things. And so that's kind of fun. And I think the podcast hopefully reflects our quirky personalities. And so that's kind of fun.
Well, when we talk about family, I met my wife. I was a rock and roll musician, and Led Zeppelin, that was Nirvana. That was the big thing. I played a lot of Led Zeppelin and those type songs, and loved it, and studied John Bonham's drumming style, and stole as much as I could from it. And so many great things. And then I meet her and fall in love with her, and she's going to school for music. And
I was a teacher.
oh yeah. Well, you were newly a teacher.
Yes, I was newly a teacher.
A couple months,
Yes.
But I was
opera singer.
Yes.
Well, I was getting to that. I was going, what are we going to do? I want to do something together. What can we do? She's into opera. I'm into rock and roll. How's that going to work? I mean,
rock opera.
We're not Pat Benatar. She actually made that work, but she hadn't done that yet, even back when we met.
I don't think so.
So it was never heard of. But she had a lot of music knowledge, a lot of music theory knowledge, and I told her, man, I just want to do something together as a husband and wife, and what could we do? And then I thought of, I'd like to play the guitar, because with the drums you get one side of the coin, you get the rhythm, on the other side is melody. And I don't really get to express a lot of melody on the drums. There's some in a limited quantity, but there's not much there. So if I learn how to play the guitar, then I can have the best of both worlds. And your knowledge of music and music theory in particular helped me to be able to teach myself the guitar and to do very well at it, because there was things that I found in what you knew that I put together and made it easier, simpler way to learn. So that helped me a lot, and I learned to play the guitar, and then we would play together.
Yes, then we could sing and play. It was good.
Yeah, it was wonderful, because your voice was so beautiful, and being able to play while you sing was just very enriching for me.
That's cool.
So we had that for a lot of years, and then we had kids.
Yeah.
It
ruined everything.
We had Josh. I mean, we were playing in church a lot, and nursing homes, yeah.
Which we still do. So.
Yeah, and that's really fun, and it's rewarding, and a great time. And when Josh was born, they talk about, how old does your kid have to be before you expose them to the public, to like people in church or whatever. Everybody's afraid they're going to sneeze on him and he's going to get deathly sick or whatever. So at whatever age, we brought him with us. So we would go into nursing homes, and Josh would come with us, and he was involved in music. His whole world was like a music bubble.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the first time that the living room consisted of a drum set, and not much else.
That's funny.
When we got married, our living room truly was a drum set, a bentwood rocker, and we have a coffee table.
And we had like a dining room table, but we didn't have any chairs, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, we were a little on the poor side.
We went to Zer's.
Yes.
And bought chairs at Zer's.
But, people thought that weird. They'd come over and they'd go, oh, hey, how you doing? They walk in the apartment.
Drum set in the living room.
There's a 7-piece Slingerland in the middle of the room,
That's funny.
Yeah.
And, but, she got used to it, and they got used to it. And he got used to it when he was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought
that was normal. That was
Doesn't everyone have a drum
Everybody's
set?
got drum sets in their house, right?
People would ask me, like, you probably can't play that long because, your kid takes a nap. I said, my kid's used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know nothing else but that. So, like, he would be taking a nap, and I'd be, playing the drums and, rocking out, and he was fine, and it just became part of his life and part of his world. So that was really kind of cool. And, Caroline came along, our daughter, and it was the same thing.
Yeah.
She was born into a musical family, and there's a lot of benefits. One of my favorite children's books is...
the Musical Life of Gustav Moll.
Yes.
Happy the Mole, born into a musical family.
There you go.
Is that, yeah. Don't get me crying.
I know. It's a great book.
It's a great book. Yeah,
it is. But it's a great book. But then it's because there's elements of truth to it.
Yes.
Because in the book, this mole character is born into a musical family, and everybody in his family is making music. His parents, and then he grows up and ends up being a musician and teaching just like his father did, and teaching his kids. And
no, you don't say.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's a great story. I should find out who the author is. I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
But it's a good story.
Yeah.
But so he was raised in a musical environment. Like I said, my kids would take naps and I'd be playing the drums or teaching drum lessons or something, and they were always like, this is normal. They didn't know anything different, and their hearing's not damaged or any of that stuff. They were fine.
Oh yeah, well, you had me wear earplugs when I practiced and stuff.
We looked out for you.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that's really funny because I think back on that, and I didn't ever like wearing earplugs. And we'd go to concerts, we'd go to watch you play, and they would make me wear earplugs, and I didn't like doing that. And you'd catch me with them out and be like, put those earplugs in, and stuff. And I think definitely as I've gotten older, I understood the importance of that, and I'm really appreciative of that. But yeah, we always took care of the hearing. And
now when I see, on TV or something at a football game and parents have headphones on them. Yeah, I think God bless you, man.
Absolutely, they're looking out for the kids.
You're caring about your kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tell our parents of the drum students, they gotta learn not to beat the hell out of the drums.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them they're like elbows and ears when they play, and that's if you got a steady diet of that, if you're practicing an hour a day, 6 days a week, you're gonna kill your hearing, man.
Oh yeah.
Ask Ted Nugent, who can't hear nothing now,
Yeah, that's it.
It takes a toll. Even my hearing is slightly diminished.
Yeah.
You would argue the
agree.
slightly
Yes.
thing. What'd you say?
It's funny.
No.
That's
yeah,
funny.
No,
Now, when we met Charlie Morgan, there's a drummer for Elton John for a long time. He was a touring drummer for Elton John. I remember we were at that one seminar in DeLand at Stetson.
Pasic. It was a Pasic.
Was it a
seminar.
Pasic seminar? And that was at a time where I was kind of pushing back on the whole wearing earplugs thing, and I was older. I was like 12, and so you start pushing back on stupid stuff. But and I remember Mom saying, you need to ask him about the earplugs. And I was like, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Charlie Morgan, do you wear earplugs? And he was like, yes. And then he talked about Elton John, and he was like, you don't want to be like Elton John. And then he described how he has to have these two massive monitors on either side of him. And he's like, he is fairly deaf. He has a hard time.
And that was a long time ago.
It was many years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure he wears hearing aids and stuff, because when he was describing what it was like, and then he was like, and that's Elton John. He's like, if you can avoid that, and I was like, yeah.
People don't talk about that a lot, and I think it's important.
Yeah, protecting your hearing as a
I'm glad
musician.
you brought it up. Yeah. It's important.
I mean, unless you're a piano player or something, But I mean,
classical guitar only.
That's it. But that's the thing is like guitar players, electric. Anytime you're dealing with electronics, that amplify, it's important.
Oh yeah, and then you can build those walls of amps.
Right.
Like we saw at NAMM that one.
Oh yeah, the Marshall stacks.
It was a wall of Marshalls.
That was so cool.
You gotta be kidding me, man.
Oh man, yeah. Well, and going to concerts, I don't think you think about it a whole lot. You go to a concert, you're excited.
I do. I was always kind of sensitive to it. We went to that football game in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Loud.
Those folks can get loud, man.
It was loud.
It was like, oh God, my head split, and it was just so loud. Yeah. And you can't really. I couldn't enjoy myself with that volume of noise going on.
Yeah. So it's good to have earplugs.
Yeah,
it is.
And the earplugs have gotten so much better now too that it doesn't. It's not just the foamies that just plug everything up.
No, they got those frequencies.
That's it. They got the frequency filters, and so that makes it a lot better because then you can hear normal conversation and stuff, and But then when it gets real loud, it blocks that out, and so it's good.
Very good.
So it's a unique family in that you and I found a common ground in music, and then Josh came along and all three of us found common ground in music. And then I've always admired your passion for teaching. You homeschooled both our kids, or you helped me homeschool both our kids, and you were insanely passionate about doing it. You would go to work and you do your work at your job, but you'd be thinking the whole time, what can I do for my kids' education? And you would do some incredible things that involved them in education and things you would never think would be an educational lesson, you know.
Well, and not to, you know, take anything away from what you're saying. Absolutely, 100%. You did the same thing.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say.
I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about what it was like being homeschooled, and I was telling them about how we used to go and watch the Blue Angels practice. And we used to be able to do it right behind the hangar with the guy who had the radio.
Yeah,
and we could hear them talking to each other in the cockpit and stuff, you know. And then, like, as always, whenever we would take these field trips, you know, during the day, which, you know, nobody else could do because all this cool stuff would happen during school hours, you know. So we were able to take these field trips and go see some cool stuff. And then we'd get home and it'd be like, okay, write a paper about what you just saw, you know.
See, that's your mother's influence. So that's what I'm saying is her passion was infectious, and she was all about education, you know, and was totally consumed with educating you guys, and gave me, you know, invaluable help. Yeah. And it was things like that I thought of because of her influence. And then when I saw how good it was, I was like, I'm going to go with this.
Yeah,
you know?
We'd go to the zoo, and the kids would be in the back seat going, oh, are we going to have to write a paper?
Well, but here's the thing about it. That was the thing. Like, it was we definitely enjoyed going and not having to write the papers. Okay. The times that I remember several times sitting in the back seat with Caroline, and we'd be looking at each other and just be like, don't say anything.
Just don't mention that word.
Say paper, don't say.
But then she would go, well, what was your favorite part?
Oh, that's it. And then we'd start talking about it. But then the thing about, like, knowing, so, like, there were several times where we went and saw, like, some of the ships that came in, like the Bonhomme Richard, and we saw the Nina, you know. Didn't see the Pinta replica until I was, you know, an adult, but we did see the Nina as a kid. And so going and knowing, okay, we're going to go do this really cool thing, and then we're going to have to write an essay about it. It meant then that I was basically paying more attention.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention.
Yeah, because I was like, I gotta be able to write a 5-paragraph essay about the ship we're gonna go see. I need to have something to say other than it was just a big ship and it was hot, you know, like.
But then that kind of it taught you attention to detail, and even if we didn't have you write a paper,
well, and we would bring notebook paper and sometimes and, you know, take notes and stuff. But that was the thing is then we would pay more attention, and you get more out of it that way, you know, because then you're you know, thinking along those lines of, okay, I've got to do this report.
But we always would talk about what was your favorite part. No matter what we did, we'd say
that was you. That all came from you, you know.
And it makes you think a little deeper about everything, and even
it doesn't allow you to be casual.
That's it.
And
you have to bring your brain wherever you're going.
I don't know. No, you got to think of something.
Well, and I did the same thing. It's funny you saying this because this is then come full circle because when we had the Pensacola Opera come to our school last week. Every class that I talked to, we like had a debriefing, you know, and I said, I did that. I said, what was your favorite part? I said, who was your favorite singer? Why? You know, and it started out, especially like the further and further it got from the event, like right after it happened, it was fresh on their mind. And even the next week, like the Monday and Tuesday after, they still remembered a lot. By the time I was getting to my Wednesday, Thursday, Friday classes, it had been almost a week since, and they, you know, initially it was like they didn't remember anything, but then once you start questioning about it and stuff and bringing things up, then all of a sudden they started remembering, started recalling, and then you know, and then it was like, yeah, you guys remembered, you know, you were paying attention, you saw what happened, you know, but then it helps kind of solidify the experience, you know.
Well, this is my point is your passion for education infected me. I got that same passion, and it's also affected you. And that's just, you know, goes to our brand. You know, we're passionate.
I think that's good. I didn't think about that part. You know, the family, the passion.
Yes,
passion for education.
Yep, passion for education.
Music education. Yeah,
that's cool.
And, it's rare to find a musical family. You know, or a family of musicians that spend time working together. But then to take it much farther than that and do what we do, it's pretty amazing, you know.
Well, and we talk about our lessons even, you know, we talk about
we
our
share
students and
the
with the students having struggling with this, and I have a student, we're struggling with what tempo to do on this one song, and so I went to Josh and we talked about how do you decide what tempo. Tempo can be really, it's very subjective.
Oh yeah, big time.
It says moderato. Well, there's like this huge, what does that mean?
Well, and it's different depending on what time signature you're in.
Yeah.
And, the
so
style.
it's sometimes good to bounce stuff off of each other and kind of decide, because I tell my students, I think about them throughout the week. I mean, it's not like we just have a lesson and then leave.
Oh yeah.
We do think about them. We want something, we want it to be better. We want their experience to be good. We want every student to be learning and growing, and we want to help them the best they can. This is this is an investment that they're making.
Yeah.
And we want to do our very best.
And, having realized the many benefits on many levels of studying music, you want to share that.
Yes,
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I want you to know what I found out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How extremely cool this is, and how it's really blessed me to be able to be involved in music and learn these different instruments. So when I'm teaching people, that's what I'm trying to convey, and that's the hurdle in the beginning sometimes is you've got to get them to get a glimpse of that, and if they do, they might step up. And,
but that's the thing. I mean, I say this all the time. You don't know what you don't know, and if they haven't had that experience to see what's possible, and they have whatever their idea is in their head of what they're capable of or what they want to be able to do, you got to be able to show them that this is what it's like. To actually learn, to actually study, to be disciplined, to learn this instrument or learn these vocal techniques or whatever you're trying to, whatever they're trying to learn, because how to get there. Like I told a student that the other day, because we were having some issues with practice and the motivation to practice and stuff, and I said, the thing about this is. I've already done this. Like for me personally, like I've already.
I know how to play.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I was like, playing the guitar. He was a guitar student. I was like, playing the guitar is awesome. It's great. But I've already done this. I've already done what you're doing. And so and he was trying to say that like he was going to take a break, right? And it was like, I'm gonna just take a break, and then I'll come back, when I'm a little less busy or whatever.
It never works.
And that was the thing. I said, look, man, I've been in this situation myself. I've had several students that have been through it, and you can't possibly know what's right around the corner. Right. You got to just trust that. Like, have you seen it? Have you seen progress? And he said, yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, I've seen progress. And I said, all right, so right now you're just stuck in a slump, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But realize that the process is still the same. The process doesn't change. And just like you saw results when you followed the process and you followed the method before, it got you to the point that you're at now. You got to keep doing it so that you can get to that next step. You can get over that hurdle.
It's a matter of hills and valleys.
That's it. Hit them with the hills and valleys.
You start and you're all excited, and then you go in the valley and find out there's work before the next hilltop.
Yeah.
You could die in the valley, or you could do the work and get up on the next hilltop, gain some skills, done some things you never thought you could do. Get a little glimpse of the hilltops down the road,
and that's the thing. And that's the thing I'm getting at, is because sometimes it's hard for people to see that, to see what's down the road, and then that's my thing is like, well, just I asked him, do you trust me? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, then there you go. Trust me that I'm telling you that this is going to work, and you'll get through it. And then what was funny is by the time we finished the lesson, the song he was struggling on, he got it. He got it. So, and then I was kind of like,
one of the other things is a proven method for teaching.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We collectively have a proven method for teaching music. And we know that if the students follow the process that as we know it, they will succeed, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what. We taught people missing fingers.
Yeah.
How to play the bass guitar and stuff.
Oh, I know. We taught students who were blind and
blind drummer. I mean,
guitar too.
If you put the effort in and the discipline to follow the process, you will succeed. There's nothing. I've never met somebody that didn't succeed that put the effort into it.
But there is a like people want to skip, like they want to skip
Sure
all the
they
steps.
do. Yeah.
Because I see that most with voice. They just want to sing. They want to be there and sing better, but they don't necessarily want to put. The other day I was teaching a lesson and we're working on range, right? Going higher, going higher. So I just kept going, and then, I was demonstrating, so I was singing very high notes, F sharp, G. And the student was like, why can't I just do that like you? And I was like, well,
you got about 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was like the third lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't you do that? That's
and to be fair, it wouldn't take them 30 years to be able to do that. But still, I mean, that's the effortless,
Yeah, I mean, what they're seeing is the fruits of all that. All those years of studying music.
So, what I told them was, I'm lifting my soft palate. I'm focusing the tone. I'm keeping my tongue. All this stuff. All the things that we haven't even gotten to all of it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it does all happen because I've put the work in, like you said. I've done this. I've put the work in.
I traveled down this path.
Yes. Hours and hours and hours of practice to make sure that. So now when I do sing, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there, barring any kind of a, physical illness or something, but it's there.
Yeah.
And so, it'll get there if you put the work in.
And then, basically human nature is lazy, and we just want the easiest path to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard it, therefore I can do it. You know, and it's not that way. The thing is, you have to put the work in to be able to accomplish those goals, and the repetitions. Like I told one of our students the other day that. Osmosis doesn't work. You and I can mind meld, do the Vulcan mind meld, and it's not going to work, man.
Yeah.
You have to do the repetitions because that's how the change happens. You do the repetitions, you rewire your brain, the way your brain thinks about stuff, and you get it.
Well, and that's the fundamentals. The fundamental concept is that it requires the repetition. Because I got a student right now that's starting to become more advanced, but they're getting frustrated because in their head they know what they need to do. Physically, it's not happening, and I'm like, that you're most of the way there because you got the mental aspect going on. But don't get frustrated because this is what it takes. You got to train your brain.
See, a mature, successful musician accepts the process.
That's the thing, right?
I've accepted it. I understand that this exists.
Yeah.
And it probably always will exist if I want to keep stretching and growing.
Yeah.
There's going to come times where I got to knuckle down and push through it.
Right.
And if I do that, then I get the rewards every single time.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
So I'm okay with that. And it's not as life altering as it is to some people in the beginning. It's oh my God, It's not coming to me overnight.
Yeah.
And I practice like 30 minutes.
No, I know. Oh, that's the one I love is when people are like, oh, I can't get this, and I've practiced this week, and I'll go, okay, did you practice every day? Well, no.
No, yeah.
Okay, did you use the metronome? Well, sort of.
Yeah, right, sort of.
Okay, well, come on now. You gotta do the steps.
Do the process.
It's that perfect practice.
Are you
perfect,
counting?
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? I mean,
for all the students listening to this, you better be counting.
From day one, you must count.
You have to count.
You may not have to count your entire life, but it sure helps to learn to count. Well, if you don't count, you're shooting yourself in the head.
And that's the thing. It's like it doesn't even really matter because I have people that ask questions of me like, "Oh, are you counting all the time?" And do these professionals that are counting, are playing? Are they counting? It doesn't even really matter because throwing all of that aside, this is a proven way to ensure success.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want to do it? Who cares? If I'm doing it and these professionals are doing it, if you've seen it work and you know that this is how you're going to get this skill, why wouldn't you just keep doing it?
Are you there?
Yeah.
No. You want to get there?
Yeah.
This is how we do it, right? So I mean, but then putting that aside and bringing into let's actually answer your question. Yes, for me personally, I am counting all the time. Now I know. For you've said before that you go a little bit more by feel, but I even I've even kind of questioned you on that I feel like you count and it's more subconscious than anything.
No, it's like I can best describe it like Dave Weckl.
Okay.
Dave Weckl is a fantastic jazz drummer, highly talented, highly skilled, been around for a lot of years. He doesn't count. He gets a rhythm in his head.
Oh yeah, he sings the rhythm.
It's the count.
It's the count.
Whether you say 1, 2, 3, or 1 EN to 2 EN, or you go
that's the
because it's the same thing.
Clyde Stubblefield was the same way.
Yes,
Yes. Clyde Stubblefield would do that. He'd be like, this is that rhythm, and then he'd sing it, and he'd sing it in time, and he'd, that's it. And see, for me, that it always, being able to vocalize it was always something, and still is, that I go back to, that really helps me be able to internalize whatever I'm trying to play.
Well, and there's times where the metronome kind of counts for you. So I was trying to explain that to a student, that if you really listen to the metronome.
So you're going by feel. You're describing feel. Yeah. So if you could get the feel, then that's going to work as if you're counting.
Right.
You know?
But you have to work up to that point.
Yes, it's after training your hearing to be able to hear what's dead on.
That's it. Because none of these professional musicians that you're going to point to have terrible timing. Like you can't find a successful musician and say, oh yeah, they're really good, except they can't play steady. You got to be kidding me. Like yes, they're all counting. They're all focused on the beat. They all have done that at one point or another. Have put in serious time focused on this. And, especially when it comes to playing the drums, I mean, there's nothing more important than keeping that beat steady. So every single good drummer that professional drummer, is doing that.
Yeah. Yes.
So, so yes, they are counting. And that's what I'll tell them. I'll go, and then I'll, if you don't believe me, go look it up,
Yeah.
There are definitely, what works against us is, this glorification of, self.
I was born
a self-made. I was born this way. Yeah. There's this in especially in rock music more than any other genre. I feel like there's this there's this attitude of, if you were just naturally talented, that's like, we should all bow down. Instead of I worked to get these skills. Yeah. I was just
ask LeBron James if he worked.
Oh man, come on.
Do you think he just woke up and it was okay? I'm the greatest.
Yeah,
and I'm just
But it's accepted in sports. People know, that there's an accepted. You have to practice. You have to do the repetitions. You have to do all of that. But for some reason in music,
I think it's because of the competition element.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to get slaughtered.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and that's the thing about music is that a lot of the students that we have coming to us are not, they're not going to be doing competitions, and they're not going to be doing performances on big stages and stuff like that. But
well, why does it make it that you don't want to do it right?
That's the thing. I mean,
why would you be that foolish?
Right.
Yeah. I always hear sometimes, I'm not going to be a studio musician.
Just going to say.
Don't give me none of that music theory stuff, because I just want to play for my own enjoyment and stuff. Well, what do you enjoy? You enjoy crap?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You enjoy noise?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You want to do it right. Yes. And so if you're going to do it right. This is the right way to go.
The power of music is in rhythm.
Absolutely.
I forget that trumpet player.
I don't know.
Miles Davis?
No. Famous trumpet player from New Orleans.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Teacher.
Wynton Marsalis.
There you go.
Jeez.
We played at board games.
She was on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That's 36 years of marriage will do that.
That was good. Yeah. Famous trumpet player from New Orleans. I'm like, oh, yeah. Let me see.
I can narrow that down.
Yeah, that narrows it down right there. Oh, yeah.
She has a thing on ground rhythm.
Yeah.
What makes toes tap.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's ingenious.
His whole series, it's great.
The Marsalis on Music series is phenomenal.
It's great.
Yeah. But it's a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And he thought deeply about stuff.
Absolutely.
Why do people tap their toes when they're hearing music? You know, what makes that happen?
Absolutely.
It's like an involuntary
it is.
reaction to the music. You know, what makes that happen?
Yeah.
And then he goes on to explain it's rhythm that makes that happen.
Yeah.
It's a
steady
rhythm effect on your brain that makes that happen. You
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah.
And people never go deep enough to think about that stuff.
Yeah, but that's what
him.
But that's the thing, and that's what I tell people is that when you learn how to play an instrument, you're learning in an effective method like that. It's like pulling the curtain back on a magic show.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
now
yeah.
you start to really understand the nuts and bolts behind the music that you enjoy,
Yeah.
Right.
and the stuff that you like to listen to, and these are the reasons why. And then you have a deeper appreciation and understanding of it, you know. And then sometimes that can cause you to get exposed to other things that you would not have normally gravitated towards, but now you are because you've now gained this knowledge and you've gained this skill, and you start to see what it takes to
Well, you appreciate
create good
now
music.
you appreciate it a lot more.
So we've kind of
Come around.
done a good job. So now,
Are we going to get into this?
I don't think we have time to get into it.
We're 30
this
minutes into this
Yeah.
second half here.
I think we're going
we'll
to
do
have to save
a
this.
couple.
We'll
Okay.
have to
Because
save it till
First of all, it's music trivia. We play music trivia to the death.
All the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very cutthroat in the Kaye family. I don't know
funny.
why it's that way, but
because they're very competitive and I know nothing.
funny.
You believe she said that?
I
You are like
I
the
know,
most
no.
competitive
Why are you all-
person I know.
We need to. Who's taking the question?
I'll
this
take
is
it.
so easy.
Give me the
It's
question.
too easy. Which popular singer is referred to as the boss?
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. Is it Bruno Mars, John Denver,
Yeah, right.
or
Bruce Springsteen.
yes? Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
This is not the game we played the other day, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It's the same
Come on,
one.
you're wasting
Oh,
time.
I'm
Get
sorry.
another one.
Okay, Josh.
Okay.
Which epic rock song soundtracks? Which epic rock song soundtracks the opening scene as well as the final battle in Thor Ragnarok? Oh, you should know
Oh,
this.
jeez, man!
Oh
if
my
you don't know
gosh.
that, I'm gonna take you outside.
Well, it's Led Zeppelin, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, should I give him the choices
No,
or just
no.
make him
Well,
sing
No,
the song?
because it's immigrant song.
It is,
from
yeah,
Led
it's
Zeppelin.
good.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, you were taking
it.
way too long.
Well, no, because I remembered that it was one of the Thor movies they were using "Sweet Child of Mine." It's
Yeah.
I was trying to remember which. I think that was
Okay.
Thor:
sorry.
Love and Thunder.
Is it
but
me
yeah.
now? Oh gosh.
This is you.
I don't-
Which astronomer is name dropped in Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh yeah, come on.
Okay, wait. I have to sing the whole
You have to-
song.
Pinocchio, Pinocchio, Pinocchio.
No,
right?
it's
No. Pinocchio. What are you doing?
Oh,
I'm trying to give her a hint.
put
you're
the
not.
pressure
Yes,
on
I'm
me. I have
confusing
to-
her.
No, it's I have to. I don't know. I don't know.
Time's
No,
up.
I know.
No,
Wait,
okay.
I do.
Think of the song.
I have to think
it's not
of the
at
song.
the beginning.
It's
It's in the Scaramouche section.
Galileo.
There we go. There we go. Everybody who's listening is screaming right now. Galileo!
They're all on the edge of their
Ooh, I
seats.
got
That
it.
was
I
good.
got it.
Hey, there you go. See, you know
Okay,
something.
taking my jacket off now.
Oh, jeez.
No,
All right,
I'm
we're gonna
just
do another
kidding.
one.
Oh, we
do
were
another
really
one.
late.
Let's
This
do
is
another
you.
one.
What year was the song YMCA released?
Oh.
1978, 1986, 1995.
78.
Yes, of course.
That was the multiple choice then.
Okay.
That's what got you.
The cast
Galileo
of the TV.
wasn't
Yeah,
multiple.
Galileo, yeah.
You could have given me a.
No,
There
no.
was
Did
no multiple
Pinocchio, Pinocchio.
No, there had to be a. Well, all of these are multiple.
How is
choice.
Pinocchio?
It wasn't multiple choice.
Really?
It
Yes.
wasn't. It just said, I saw it. It just said Galileo.
Well, that's not fair.
Come
The
on,
rest
come
of
on,
the-
ask
okay.
him.
The cast of the TV show Glee cracked the Billboard Top 10 in 2009 with a cover of which song? Should I give you the choices?
Yeah, give me the choices because they
Teenage
had so
Dream,
many.
Don't Stop Believin', Forget You.
Oh, it was Don't Stop Believing.
Well, of course.
Yeah, no, we sang that in choir. We sang the Glee version of that. That was really awesome.
One more round and we'll call it.
Oh,
okay.
really? Okay. Oh, it's my
I'm
turn.
gonna,
Oh, gosh.
Oh, is it yours? Or
Yes.
did
Yeah, it's hers.
I get
Okay, all
nervous.
right. What show fostered young talents like Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera before they even
The Mickey
became
Mouse
part-
Club.
Yeah,
Woo!
there
That's
you
my
go. There
generation.
you
I
go.
know that. It wasn't
It's
like...
your generation.
Well, because Mickey
That was the
Mouse Club.
90s.
Yes, but Mickey Mouse,
Was it?
never mind.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Lizzo plays which instrument?
Plays the flute. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Just gave it to you.
All right.
It's a-
Actually, I didn't know.
You didn't
'cause I'm
know
not
that?
a big Lizzo fan.
No.
Okay, well,
that's
here,
kinda-
this will be yours. Which? You're not going to know this either. Which mathematical symbol was the title of Ed Sheeran's first album in 2011? Was it a plus sign, a division sign, or an X, multiplication?
Division.
It was multiplication.
No.
Was it a plus sign?
That's what they
That was
say.
the first one? Because he did one for each. He did. I thought it was the X because I thought that was
it has the plus.
Luck, you're
okay,
wrong, man.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. It was the plus.
All right, well,
Okay.
we'll do a little bit
18.
of this next time.
Yeah, that's
That was our
yeah.
intention
Don't shuffle
this
them.
time.
We'll just
But
keep them the way
Yeah.
they are.
keep
don't
it-
shuffle.
keep it
I'd
going.
like to shuffle. Okay.
Nobody's keeping score, but you know.
No, it's just fun.
I got 2 right.
I know. Look at
Oh,
that.
look who's keeping score.
See, you just said nobody's keeping score, and she always acts like she
And
doesn't
she's
care.
not competitive.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm just so not competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't care if we win or lose. I just.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough about me.
Oh, okay.
Time to go.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap
it.
it. We'll wrap it up there. This was fun. I hope you
Season
guys
4,
enjoyed it.
episode 1.
Season 4. We're starting season 4. Congratulations, guys.
Water with the
Starting
K's,
season 4.
apparently.
Yeah. Very good. So, if you're interested in music lessons, musiclessonspensacola.com would be the place to go. The intro music is provided by Ron Kaye off of his album Construction, and there's several other releases there too. So on Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora and pretty much everywhere you get music, you can hear the music from Ron Kaye. And am I forgetting anything? No.
Sidestepping Conspiracy is doing really well. Right
Sidestep is good. I like that one. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. That's like you could like snowboard to that one. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
well, yeah.
it's like an action packed one.
It's action-packed,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one's good. That one's good. So yeah, so check it out. Sidestep Conspiracy. That was a good release. And make sure that you subscribe to Coffee with Kays everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Give us a like. Give us some comments too on if you have anything to share about what we discussed. Be sure to send us comments. Send us any kind of messages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Ron Kays Music. And
or your musical trivia questions.
yes, there you go. We take those too. That would be cool. Then
Yeah.
have people give us their music trivia questions.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. All right, everybody, thank you for listening, and join us again for Coffee with the Kays.